Y'all all got your packets, is that correct? Your pre-meeting. We didn't call order or anything. We don't need that tonight. It was just, we're actually gonna have some new notaries, James and Melissa Becker. We've got some renewals, Teresa Roby, Pam Rye, Seth Rye, and Lori Odom. Under old business, we'll have a convenience center update, transferring $8,500 for the open top container to buy a new container. We actually got our money for the one that was under disaster. Under new business, I'm sorry.
Okay. On the convenience center, at one point we had 13, I believe it was, citations from the state. Have we been able to resolve those?
We have actually solved 10. We've got 3 more issues. We're actually waiting on an electrician. All 3 jobs is going to have electrical work. Not big jobs, but they are electrical work involved. I've actually talked about getting Mr. Richardson up there, and Rachel was actually sent to state and told them that we should have it done by the end of February. But we have fixed 10 of them already, the issues.
Thank you.
Any other discussion on that tonight? Convenience center. Under new business, we got on the first thing is the 911 discussion. Does anybody want to talk about that, or?
Yeah, I'd like to have Dale come up, and I want to pick his brain a little bit here.
You got your microphone here, Dave.
On the 911 board and everything, I've heard some disturbing information that you're not going to be able to have the funds to make the payment to the county in June of this year. You want to start with that one?
We didn't receive the full payment that we were expecting from the state, so we're going to be a little short on money. Now, the payment for the current fiscal year, that should not be any issue. It's the 1/3 payment that was extended from last year that there's a question on.
Okay, so we are not, as far as budget goes, we shouldn't be having any problems.
Correct. The current fiscal year for both the 911 board and the county, there's no issues.
Okay. All right. Second item, I have been told that we have a problem with the towers, that those maintenance issues, that we've got trees growing up in one, that one is not protected, there's no fence around them, they're open to the public. And then I'm also hearing stories that if ML Connect should go down or whatever, that we're literally without communication across the county. Is that correct, or am I just not understanding?
Not exactly. So let's break that down. What was the first part of that question?
Well, the first part is the maintenance level and the protection of the towers themselves.
So as far as the maintenance on the towers, that does fall under my responsibility. It was previously, Dave Harden handled it, Jimmy R was handling it, and then finding time in my schedule has proven to be difficult sometimes. Sorry, there's a bit of an echo. So yes, some of the towers have been neglected, for lack of a better term. I've worked, been talking with the sheriff about, maybe getting the trustees. Daryl's been out there once or twice now. Also Keith, for county maintenance, having him go out to some of these sites to keep up with at least the checklist to make sure that they're up to par.
Okay, what's it gonna cost to fix those?
Now, as far as the trees at the landfill site,
Yeah, getting them where they should be as far as maintenance goes, and that they're protected. We don't have people climbing the towers, that kind of stuff.
we've been working, part of the initial plan for the Yellow Creek Tower was to put a fence on it. And again, like everything the past few years, the cost has gone up. We didn't have enough money left over to build the fence. The two companies that did put in bids for the fence itself, those prices went up, and then they lost workers. So they weren't able to fulfill that.
So what are you gonna do about it?
We're still working on finding somebody to build a fence for us.
What about the generator? Does it work?
There is no generator at the Yellow Creek site at this time. The site that it replaced, there's never been, up until recently, the only tower site that had a generator was the landfill tower. The Yellow Creek or the Culpeper and Sage towers never had generators on.
Don't they have to have a constant temperature?
You're dealing with computers, so yes, they've got to have a regulated temperature inside.
So there's a possibility of them going down and not working, so all the cameras will not work.
Potentially, yes.
What are you gonna do about it?
Fix it
When?
as soon as there's money.
Do you have any possible bids on your fencing?
Not recently, no.
When they put the tires up, why didn't you put that bid in to do it all at one time, when they did that?
The company that we received the tower bids from only worked in towers. They didn't do that part. They did the grounding for us, but not the fence itself.
Ballpark, what are you talking about on fencing, Dave?
Originally, we were looking at about $10,000. And it's just gone up from there. I don't have any recent bids to give you.
Have you checked with the fence, there's a fencing crew there on a bypass going out of Paris?
What's the company name?
I'll have to get it for you.
Okay.
What about the generator part of it?
Again, it's cost of repairing the existing generator at the old building and moving it versus buying new and installing that. Again, we're going back to the first question. We're having trouble finding the money to pay our current bills, let alone taking on another project.
Which is more important? System that works or paying your bills?
If we don't pay the bills, the system's gonna break either way.
Your money problem, Dale, that you're having, is it because you didn't get enough on the county part, or you're not collecting enough from the 911?
Yeah, a little bit of both. Like I said, like everything, prices on everything's gone up the past couple of years, so our expenses have exceeded what we thought they were gonna be. We have no say really on how much we're collecting in 911 fees. That's set by the state.
Okay, help me understand here. I know that on landlines that there was $1.50 fee.
Correct. And cell phone.
Okay, so the cell phone is also charged that. I don't ever hardly see the bill, so I don't know.
Right.
So you're actually collecting off for every cell phone and every landline.
Correct.
Why would our money go down that we're getting when so many more people now have multiple phones, cell phones, et cetera?
So before the state took over a few years ago and we were receiving the money directly from the phone companies, we were actually charging $3 per business line and $1.50 per residential line. So again, that changes now. It's $1.50 across the board for any line. Right now we're basically holding steady as far as what we're getting from the state,
So is there
but the
anything
expenses are going up.
Is there anything the state can offer you? Like say you talk, whoever you have to talk to exactly, the chain of command exactly, who can offer you something to help you in this in this doubt right now.
Yeah, the only thing that we can ask for to be considered, can't think of the right word right now, but basically in financial distress.
Who would you talk
But
to?
we have to show 3 years of loss before they'll consider it.
Was there a way you could project your 3 years of loss of saying, if we don't do this now,
It would be the
our-
same as with the county. They would send somebody from the state to come and basically take over our finances to
Okay.
fix it for us before they would give us any additional funding from the state.
Was the money ever there to fix all these problems that they're talking about? Was the money ever there?
Another part of the problem is we've taken on 3 projects in the last 3 years. We built the Culpeper Tower, the Yellow Creek Tower, and put in a new radio system. So we had, the bank account was over $500,000 2 years ago, but it's all gone because we took on so many projects at once.
Is there a way you can report to the state? I don't know exactly how the communications will work, but who would you report to? Exactly your situation.
I mean,
You talk to
there's
the
several
state.
members on the state now on one board, so James Barnes would be the representative of Silver Finances.
If I could, some of that also, when we were putting the Yellow Creek Tower up, that tower went up almost $80,000 in 6 months. We had no control over that. We had no choice when it was decided to cancel our contract with Greer. We had to put a tower up. We didn't have a choice, so we would have nothing on the entire, that west side of the county, east side of the county. So we lost almost 80,000 there, and that 80,000 was planned on finishing all that and getting it all going the way it was supposed to. If we'd
I
have
mean, it cost you 80,000 more than what they first said?
yes, sir. Just
From
steel
the
tower itself.
initial estimate to the official quote that they gave us, correct?
In 6 months,
What is
8
your-
months.
Excuse me, what does your budget look like? I mean, do you prepare an annual budget or,
Yes.
okay? What did the last budget look like?
I'm not sure I understand the question. I mean,
Did you show
it
a
was
surplus?
budgeted.
Did you show your expenses?
I want to say we had a surplus of $300. It was same as any budget, any government budget. We spend everything we get.
Yeah, I guess I'm really concerned about 911 and what I understand and what I hear, that we could be facing a number of serious problems. And then I got your message today in which the 911 board, you actually canceled a planned meeting because you had people that were more interested in doing the Irish thing. And
The initial date for the 911 board meeting was tonight, but it was postponed once because of this meeting.
Okay.
And then postponed
Let me
again for the
finish
Irish
that,
Day.
though.
Sorry, go ahead.
All right. But the thing is, yes, I agree that the Irish celebration and everything brings a lot of money. It's very important. But what I'm seeing is that, and I know that as a legislative body, we don't have control over it, but I'm not seeing a whole lot of urgency coming out of the 911 board and getting the issue solved. I mean, I'm also hearing things that you don't have fuel for vehicles or for to keep motors running, et cetera. So, I mean, tell me how you're going to fix these things.
Retire if I may,
Sure.
the generator problem. When he transferred from the old 911 dispatch to the new, there was a generator there. Generator maintenance folks come from a contracted service. They looked at it, couldn't get it to run. Do something that day, please. We took the pressure up there. We got the engine running. We got it turning over. Everything's popping, but it's starting. We feel like in the next 2 weeks that we hope we have the motor running. If that happens, that will save us anywhere from $17,000 to $22,000 on another generator. It's out of warranty. So, and like I said, they worked on it a couple of days. Darren and them went up and worked on it, and we got it. We feel a whole lot better about it now. We went out there and as far as the fuel capacities in the generator and the tower sites that went down on White Oak and at the dump, we had the old truck. I agreed to let the county keep the truck, County Mayor's gonna put his maintenance guy in, he's gonna help see to these things. We've got a checklist, he's gonna go twice a month and help check the fuel and these things like that to prevent that from happening anymore. As far as the growth of the trees and things like that, that's getting tied up in our guide wires and everything, we've all looked at that. We've reached out to some private contractors here in the county. Once we get it all took care of and get it down, the prisoners are gonna go in there and see to that problem. Now, as far as the finances, if I understand this right now, I might need your help here. We're gonna be able to meet the payment that we owe the county this year. However, it's around 88,000 delinquency that was occurred the last year or the year before that, that's the bear of this. Everything I've looked at, and of course with your help, I'm no accountant here, but if we give what we're supposed to give the county, that's going to complete our whole budget. Is that how you kind of looked at it? A few more of the members felt like before this happens, we need to probably sit down with some of y'all and come up with a plan B, if there is even a plan B.
When's that money got to be paid back?
Right now, what's the payment this year?
As far as when it's due,
Yes, sir.
it's due to the county by the end of June, by the end of the fiscal year. I usually pay it March or April.
How much is that?
It's the 290,000. I don't have the exact figure.
But even paying that much, Rob, we're still gonna be, I believe, around 88,000 short of the delinquency, last payment or the payment before that. And I just.
But you're saying that the whole problem was snowballed from a year or two ago? Is that the way I understand it, or do you understand it that way?
It basically, as far as the delinquency of the full payment of 88,000.
Are you saying though that you're gonna pay the 290?
We're prepared to
The
pay,
88 is still gonna be in arrears?
yes, sir. So even we paid this, we're gonna, from everything I've seen on the budget, it's like we're gonna complete the budget. Is that pretty well correct? With that,
If you pay the 290.
yes, sir. We still looking at a fence. We're,
What size fence goes up out there? What size is it?
I don't have the exact numbers. It's a standard security fence, so it's
10 to 20, 10 to
what do you
10?
think, Darrell?
Fence about 8 foot tall. I'd say about 20 by 25.
20 by 25.
Yeah.
That's
Still gotta leave.
10 foot, 8 to 10 foot tall.
Yes, it might be 10
8 to 10
feet.
foot tall. Is it big 10 or 8?
Gotta have barbed wire on top of it.
It's 8 feet with the three sections of barbed wire on top of that. But the way it is now, Mr. Robert, it's just sitting there. I mean, anybody can.
Well, let me ask you this. If somebody goes out there and get hurt, who's liable? Is the county liable or 911 liable?
County is.
It's gonna hook us all, yes, sir.
I keep going back to this 290,000. If you pay the 290 at the end of June, is your budget gonna be balanced or are you short?
I've got the 290.
Okay, but what about everything else? Are you gonna have a budget balance, any balance left at the end of June?
Very little.
I feel we're gonna
But
be
you will
short
have,
because
possibly
of
could have
88,000.
something.
Correct.
Cause I've heard you were short about 15,000.
We're still doing that math. We haven't.
Okay.
That's one estimate, but we haven't done all the math to confirm that yet.
And is that separate from the 88,000 too?
Correct.
Yeah, we're looking at 10 to 12,000 delinquency because all this stuff costs more than I guess what they thought. And then the 88,000 that wasn't paid on time a year or two budgets ago.
So we're looking at a total of $100,000.
Every bit. That's not counting your fence, whatever this generator cost. And unfortunately through the winter, the tower went down again at the dump, right? The dump,
Who'd y'all get to look at the generator?
he's a private contractor come in,
Yeah, it's
private contractor come in, cost
Taylor Power Systems.
around $3,000 on that bill. I don't think it's been paid now either, has it?
He charged 3 just to come down there and tell you what's wrong with it?
Well, and get it
No,
up
that
and
was repairing the block heater, installing a new battery, and the 6 hours of labor on Christmas Eve.
But this next meeting is scheduled for.
It's
coming
next
up with-
Tuesday now, correct?
Next Tuesday's coming up. It's strictly all about the, budget, nothing but the budget's gonna come up. All the members are back together and we've got some of the commission on there now as well. And we're trying to rectify where this money is and what we need to do. But as far as the stations running out of fuel, that should be a thing of the past. Some of this maintenance can be done in free labor by county employees and the work crew at the sheriff's office. So we're gonna try to cut every corner we can, but we just feel like you need to know about these things before it gets far out of hand. And,
Does the county know the money every year?
I don't know.
I have a question. Sorry, I do not know the answer to it, but, so do you have to submit your budget to the comptroller's office? like
Yes.
the county does? Have you submitted your budget?
Yes.
Thank you.
Have they done an audit of your budget in the last 2 or 3 years?
It's done every year.
Every year?
Was yours audited while he was down here, or is it included in the audit, Joey?
They're
It's a
still
separate
working on the
audit.
audit.
So-
They're still working on the audit.
Yeah, it is a separate audit for just the 911 board, and the auditors got it on hold. It's supposed to be to the state by the end of this month.
Well, I mean, they all know how stuff has gone up. I mean, looks like they know they're gonna have to come up with some more money or somewhere to, I mean, just like he said, that tire gonna cost 80 more thousand, I mean. But they don't really care about that, I mean.
Is it,
As far as the 911 board is concerned, the state 911 board is concerned, our money the money that we receive from the state 911 board is to put in a public safety answering point. We are to answer 911 calls. The fact that we have a radio system is separate, and they're not concerned with that. That is up to the local to fund. Now, up until this year, up until the last couple of years, we've had no issues providing both with the money the state's provided.
Is the reason for these cost overruns not doing the things that you're supposed to be doing on a timely manner? The fence too.
Just they charge you more.
Yeah, but you should
Should have done it when you're supposed to. That way we're gonna have that.
How big a fence are you talking about? That
30 by
thing?
30.
How much?
About 30 by 30, 35 by 35.
I'd have to double check the numbers.
Have you checked with straight line fencing out there?
I don't know. That one doesn't sound
They're
familiar.
on Dover Road.
I know we checked A&R and a couple other companies, but like I said, right now, I can't think of the names other than A&R.
Check with straight line, they might
For
be
just interest of the board, too, we are looking at renting spots on the towers. We've got some ideas on the table to try to rent some of these areas out for these towers to help recoup some of the money. City of Aaron, City of Tennessee Ridge, of course, they pay their share, and he gets the money off the cell phones and the landlines. But
Is that a once a year payment or every monthly payment? or-
I believe that's every year. The City of Aaron, Tennessee Ridge.
City of Aaron, City of Tennessee Ridge pay money to the county quarterly based on my actual expenditures on the county portion of my budget. And then the state payment comes in bi-monthly, every 2 months.
What's Ridge do?
They're included with the Aaron. The
Yeah.
county sends them a bill quarterly.
How many members are on the 911 board?
Currently 9.
Is the number dictated by the state because you're under the state guidance?
Correct. TCA says that it is somewhere between, it has to be between 7 and 9.
Okay, you go by the bylaws of the state. I mean, you don't have your individual for the county.
No.
Okay.
Do we know who's on the board?
We can't change it. So they serve 4-year terms, so.
But who's on the board?
Sheriff Sugg, Chief Stanley, EMS Operations Manager Beth Felkowski, Leah Siegel, Ray Bradley, Steve Black, and Stephanie Smith.
And
And then Paul Bailey and Leslie Rucker.
I agree.
Leah Baggett.
Oh. Okay. Sorry. That's what that was. It's okay.
Okay. Have you had thought about asking the state to come in and do a review, see what you could do, what they can help you with?
I have in the past, not in the past couple of years, but in the past, they've said if you need more money, you need to ask your jurisdiction.
You have
And
one,
again, the county and the cities don't have the money to spend either.
you have one from the city and one from each city, right?
Correct.
And, the bookkeeper at Tennessee Ridge.
Mhm.
Is Ray Bradley on it also?
He is.
Okay, is he coming to the meetings?
Yes.
Okay.
What kind of assets do you have that you could get rid of to cover some of this debt?
The only asset other than the towers is there is a Ford Escape. But that's for addressing purposes.
Don't you have a 5,500 truck?
That is EMA and that was just purchased.
On what purpose is it for?
Which one? That's EMA as well. The only vehicle, and again, I'm representing two agencies. As far as 911 is concerned, the only asset that we've got is the Escape.
What model is that?
It's 2012.
You got it running yet?
It is.
Brought back up there.
Not yet. I'm still getting some stuff cleaned out of it.
So this is something they can meet and talk about later.
That's all we can do. However, it looks like the county is gonna be on the hook for about $100,000.
And Dale, you guys are working on this right now to see where you're at.
Correct.
So you could be able to tell us something when the budget committee starts meeting.
Definitely. That's been the
March.
intention since last June, has been to get this all figured out.
We'll have numbers though. that you
That's what I'd
can-
suggest, the main thing, you get everything down in black and white, like where it went, where it's at, what you ain't got, what you need and all that. Well, then maybe we can try to work something out. Right?
And if we're gonna do a budget, we're gonna have to look at it, find it somewhere. Let's just start turning some rocks over with money under it.
General tax increase.
Okay.
Anything else for Dale? Number 2 on the agenda will be the Community Development Block Grant contract with the state of Tennessee. It's for Mr. Stanley's fire truck, $285,600. Any discussion on that?
Is it locked in?
Yeah, it's locked in. The
The actual
285.
price of the truck?
Yeah, that's guaranteed money as long as we cover the 55, at least 55,000. And then the extra we had to throw on for gas.
Did you contract to buy the truck?
No, not
Since
yet.
last
We're,
meeting.
we're still finishing, some of the paperwork from the state. We did select a, truck off, the North Carolina Sheriff's, I'm gonna come over here.
Go ahead.
We did select a contract just for a truck, to get the paperwork started. And then once the state approves that, general contract, it's, a co-op contract, it's called, from, the North Carolina Sheriff's Association. This is similar to the same one I was trying to get through Florida with the pickup truck. Some of these contracts they're called co-op contracts, so every state can use them and recognize them. And then, it doesn't lock us into anything. It just says, this is the truck we would like to get, and the state goes,
Well, I know, but it would be like it was about you talking about the tires. If you don't get something locked in, they're gonna charge you $25,000.
yes, sir, I understand. Let me finish, please.
Okay.
So, once we submit all that to the state, which we already have, we have to wait for the state to say, okay, you're good with that truck, that style, go. Once we get it back, then we sit down with the vendor and start talking actual, real contract, build contract, and specifications. So the paperwork,
You don't have to put it out for bid?
no, sir, not if we use the co-op contract.
Okay.
And that's why the state has to approve that. So we're waiting for the state to fire that back now. Once they get it back, like I said, then we can sit down and we can hit ballpark of what we want to do and start chopping up
How
what
long
we
do you
want.
think that's gonna take?
I'm sorry,
How long do you think that's gonna take?
I don't know. I've heard 3 months. I've heard some companies are waiting a year.
That's what I'm talking about. If you wait that long, we're gonna come in, we'll have to come up with another 50,000 because they'll want to charge you 50 more than what we're talking about.
This is not a gym issue
There's nothing
though.
I can do about that.
This is a state issue that's holding this up. I promise you.
And one of the problems that I've heard in the state contracting office is that, well, actually, we talked to the CDVG guy. His name is Lee, and I've heard that there's been contracting issues there's been some rollover in some of the state offices where contracts have not been approved. They've been kicked back, and then somebody new comes in and they got to start over. We talked to Lee, and I don't remember what his last name is, and he is the one that will be approving that. And he said, as soon as I get it, he says, they're usually out my door within a month. So as busy as he is, it shouldn't take too long, hopefully. I would say a month, and then I've got his number. We can call him anytime we want and see what the process is.
But then at the last meeting, didn't you say that the contract had to be signed before the first of the year so that you could guarantee the price?
Sounded like a lock-in type thing.
That was more of a lock-in,
We brought it
yeah.
up.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got to keep it to 386 total we paid. We have to keep it there. I mean, I don't plan on coming back and asking for more money. I mean, it is what it is.
How many fire trucks does this county have now?
Right now, I've got 7 capital trucks, meaning engines and tankers. And then I've got, we just got that 550 from TVA, so I've got 5 small trucks. The TVA truck we're going to use as a light rescue potentially, possibly even a heavier rescue if we can figure it out, and then get rid of our rescue truck that's falling apart. And we're going to be getting rid of we've got a state pickup truck that was given to us for free from the state. It's a loaner, if you will. They can come get it anytime, but they're never going to come get it. We have the Durango that we're going to keep now, and we have the 03 Explorer that we're going to surplus, which is in your packet for tonight or Monday, and then my chief car.
So how many actual, what we would call fire trucks now?
7.
7?
Yes, sir.
How many do you really need?
14.
Do you have enough crew
No.
to man that many?
No.
So
No, but if we start getting rid of trucks, our ISO rating is going to dump out hard. And then we'll have to figure out how we're going to cover those areas. Because right now we can go to different areas. Like depending on the call, I can shoot from my house to Yellow Creek Station and grab a truck and go. If we start getting rid of trucks, for example, at Yellow Creek or at the lake, we're not going to have that option. We're going to run our trucks at Station 1 into the ground.
I wasn't talking about getting rid of trucks. I'm just saying buying new ones.
Oh, I'd love to buy new ones.
That's what you're buying, right?
1, yes, sir. And
You got your new pickup.
no, it's not new.
Well, it is to us.
Well, yes, sir. Well, it's
You got it.
well, no, it's not a pickup. It's a 550 utility bed, and it's got a 4-ton crane on the back, so it's not a pickup. But it's a big truck, and we're gonna use it.
I thought you was gonna use that for a brush truck.
No, we're waiting on the 250 for that. If we have to, we will. But we got that big honking crane on the top of that thing, which I didn't expect. That'll take down some tree limbs for sure.
Yeah.
So if need be, we can pull the cap off the other pickup truck and use that. We got that running better than it was, so it's more reliable.
You got the used one out of Lawrenceburg or wherever, right?
Yeah, we've got that tanker here. Once I get approval to get rid of the other tanker that's on your agenda, we're gonna take that down and put it at the lake. Or I'm sorry, that one's staying at Yellow Creek. And then the one it's actually ACT now waiting for parts, that will go down to the lake, and then we'll get rid of the older tanker.
Is that your truck sitting at Shamrock Motors?
No, Nate Coley bought that from, somewhere in Kentucky he bought it. And I heard it's got a bunch of holes in the tank, I think, and he's trying to get them patched up. But there's something going on with it. Nice looking truck. So the truck from Lawrenceburg is here. It's just not in service yet. We can use it if we have to. I've already got, I got to get a PO tomorrow for lettering for it. The radios, all that's already been run. It's ready to go. Anything else, sir?
Anything else for? Thank you.
Thank you.
Number 3 on your agenda is a UT extension request for additional travel funds. I think Ms. Mobley's or I can't think of her last name now, but she's here. Laura's here.
It's all right. My stuff didn't make it into the packet. I was waiting on my employees to give me their budget, and they waited till 4:30 to give me their little miniature budgets. But what I have here, just take one pass it out, is a kind of a small little breakdown. I know this is a shot in the dark, so but I was advised by our people in Jackson to ask y'all for this. And after, of course, the first two people that went ahead of me, I feel absolutely terrible for asking for a little bit of money, but I gotta do what I gotta do. We need a little extra mileage this year. The mileage rates have increased on us since our budget in 2022, since our June budget was approved. Our current mileage rate, which is not set by us, it's set by the state and the federal government, is 65 cents a mile, which seems like a lot, but when you start figuring up that's your gas, your wear and tear on your vehicle, and your tires, etc., maintenance, it's not. And we did add an extra employee in our office, and UT did not add any more travel to us. And we did not request any more travel this year from y'all due to paying for another employee. Reality is, we're really only asking for $750 to end out the rest of the year. We do have some money left in the county. We do have a little bit left with UT, but with the budgets that the girls in office have handed me and what I'm supposed to go with, I don't know where it's going.
We're not sure.
We're gonna be short about $1,500. UT said that they would agree to pay $750. It's like it's following me. Would pay $750 if the county would agree to pay $750 of the $1,500. I was talking to some of the other.
Whole year?
Yeah, just for the rest of the year, yeah. A lot of our mileage, a lot of my mileage has already been done. All my traveling is usually in the first half of the fiscal year, and mine is kind of slowed down a little bit. Unfortunately, Miss Brooks, hers is just starting with all the 4-H kids. So she's gonna be hauling kids left and right, and she's gonna need that extra little bit. But we don't have county vehicles. A lot of the offices that do a lot of travel, they have the county vehicles. We don't have it, we have to use our own. So we're just asking for $750. I know it's a lot considering what's going on with the 911. Like, I didn't know all that was going on with Dale and everything. Like I said, I hate to ask, but it's a shot in the dark. So if y'all would just, you know.
You think 750 will get you?
Oh, yes, sir, it will.
Okay.
It will. I told him it will. I said, that or you stay home. But you can see what we have left and what the rest of the year would be.
So what you really do is make a motion to take the budget.
Yeah, how soon are you gonna have to have this?
By March.
Yeah, I should do it, of course.
Yeah, you're gonna have, this needs to go to the budget committee.
Yes.
because The budget committee's gonna have to find where they can pull $750 from. So at this point, Mr. Mayor, I would suggest that we pull this from the Monday night agenda and give it to the budget committee and then put it on the February agenda.
And that's fine. I just wanted to bring it to y'all's attention.
We're just gonna have to find out where we can.
And that's fine. And if it's not possible, it'll be all right. We'll figure something out. I understand completely, but thank y'all. We appreciate
All right.
it.
Thank you.
Number 4, we've got the youth service officer contract for juvenile detention facility. I think Miss Lori's here to kind of explain that. I asked her to come.
This is basically a contract for the time if I have a kid like that has created a domestic assault. Right now, I'm having to send them back home. That's not the ideal situation. This is a contract with a detention facility so that I can house the kids in a detention facility until they come to court. We do have time frames on how long that they have to be in court within 24 to 48 hours, excluding weekends. If I detain somebody, it costs $175 a day, and I do have money in my budget for that.
How many do you send over, like the $175?
In the last 5 years, Sid has not let me send any. But as this year, things are getting worse with these kids.
You just need it available if you need it.
Yes.
Why would we not let you send that?
He wanted me to send them home.
A lot of
If at all
times,
possible.
now if I speak freely, I dealt with juveniles a lot. I was working as an SRO and also on the road. And the situation is I can't say exact names, we have domestics, we had aggravated domestics, we had juveniles using weapons against their family. And then it just we worked all that time and money and county money just to deal with them in a situation, just juvenile petition to send them back home. And they reoffend. And then because everyone's full, like the contracts that we have, it seems like everybody else we try to send them to, it just automatically says we're full or somehow the charge doesn't really match. But it seems like other detention centers, aggravated assault does not really matter.
Let me ask a question. What are you asking us to do?
Just approve the contract.
But you've already got the money.
I have the money. I have $3,300 in my budget every year to allow for this.
So then Monday night, all you're looking for is the legislative body to say, yes, we approve.
Yes.
You have a contract. Okay, that's another thing.
And I am reaching out to try to get 2 more contracts so that I have multiple facilities. Like he said, if one doesn't have an available bed, then I can look at another facility.
Okay.
Where are you sending to right now?
Right now, I don't have a facility.
And we've been sending them home after we juvenile petition and they just reoffend. And then we got to keep going back out there throughout the night or
Well, how
EMS.
can you send one back home like that and then say something bad happens? Well, then who's liable for that?
It's a situation of like detention centers won't take it. So we don't have a juvenile detention here.
Martha's going to tend to send them over there, isn't she?
Yes.
Martha's going to tend to send them.
Yes.
So we need to make a motion to approve this?
That'll be Monday night.
Number 5, Sheriff Department, medical expenses, 790196. Kevin, you want? Or,
The 7901 is just for the November bill. We still haven't got anything for December yet. This is just continuing costs from the overage from the 30,000.
Well, we approved last month, and they didn't pay that, the second something was on.
Yes, that got paid. They sent me the copy of the check.
so this just for the month of November, is that correct?
Yes, sir. Because we only get them, I should be receiving the overage for December anytime now. It's like the
Oh, you gotta do it.
16th, 17th is when they close it out, and as soon as they get spreadsheets.
That's Cindy.
They
down there.
I thought it said, I thought it said 9,000 for me.
I hope.
Any questions on that?
Y'all got hired to come down there. Is that helping the problem as far as, well, this won't get out of hand no more than it is, or?
Yes, not having to send them out, and she's local, and we haven't had to send.
Since she's coming, Robert, we haven't had to send anybody out.
Lord, you just need to keep her coming in or something.
Yep. You're doing a pretty good job, sir.
I mean, which this cost is for the medication and everything as well, so that's nothing we can.
Well, when they come to the jail, if they've got their own medication, you can't use that, you gotta get their own medication, we gotta pay for their medication?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Everything.
It's gonna be every month expense
Yes, sir. This will be until.
in June.
Yep, the new contract rolls over.
with that one, and it wipes.
Any other discussion on that? Number 6 is the sheriff department, the trauma kits. I want to go over that too, Beth.
No, that's his part, Spencer's.
Okay.
Well, we had talked about this, back several meetings ago, and, this is to cover 13 kits. What won't go in the car will go in the jail. We can use this stuff in the jail. And, I appreciate Mr. Randall helping with this. He does make time on that. I thank you for that, sir, but it's greatly needed right now. Unfortunately, we don't have a Band-Aid put on you if we show up in this, catastrophe. This is stuff greatly needed.
I think you've already got the money on this. That was part of that money.
Yes, sir.
To his order.
Yes, sir. Actually, Miss Rachel and Beth worked that out today. And, man, so, yeah, the money's,
Yeah,
it's
I
there.
didn't know this. We need to talk about Monday night.
It's already been approved and everything.
I don't think
it's
it-
ready to take
I mean, it's
action.
already been approved.
We just have to have the money transferred or know where the.
It was approved, but it wasn't transferred
It was
from
part of that.
which line item it's coming from.
That's part of that ambulance money, and it's just, everybody being fair to know, and communication breakdown, it just wasn't taken from the ambulance.
You already
service.
bought some of the items, haven't you? You haven't
No,
bought any of the items?
we haven't bought anything.
It just needs to be transferred from that line item into your budget or however you do it.
Yeah, Miss Rachel and them, they've got it all worked out.
But it's already been approved, even the moving of the money.
Yes, sir. Yeah, everything's great.
So it's
No.
They're
nothing.
just doing it for the auditor's purpose. That's what it's for. That's what it's for.
And we do thank you for that.
Number 7 is fire department surplus vehicles and equipment. I think he already went over it, but anybody got any questions for him on that? The money will go back to the general fund, is that correct?
We're using that to cover the cost of the tank we lost.
Couldn't hear you?
We're gonna use the money from the surplus of these 3 items to cover the cost of the tanker from Lawrenceburg.
That's correct.
They
yes.
should hopefully get close, if not cover that completely.
That's what I think the commission agreed on, is that correct?
And I actually threw that ladder in because I just found that. That wasn't part of the deal originally, but I'll throw it in there. Sign a good faith.
Anybody got anything for him on that? Thank you.
Thank you.
Number 8, you should have in your packet about the ambulance agreement. That came from Charles, I think, today.
Did you talk with him about it, George?
Do I?
Did you talk with him about it? Did he think it was a good deal, or not a good deal?
No, I did not, Robert. He pretty much sent, we had a meeting there a few weeks ago, and I think some of the commissioners that were in the meeting had requested a few changes on the agreement, and I think he sent that back, what he worked out with them, but no, I did not talk to him this evening. He was already gone when I called.
We just gotta read this. Sorry.
Did, Mr. Parks have a chance to run this by, or has it been discussed with the attorney from,
Braden, or you're talking about the ambulance service? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's who he talked to. I did not get to talk to him. He sent this afternoon or today sometime. I called and he was already gone, so I didn't get to find out. I will talk to him tomorrow or Thursday 1.
Well, I don't know about y'all, but I just got a little bit bad feeling about the ambulance service, and I don't know what the right answer is.
If I speak freely, a lot of times, usually, but when it was back in the day, I guess, when it was just regular Houston County, there's a lot more cost for the sheriff's office that we have to travel all the way down the road, and then it's a situation where it's a non-combative patient. And we use our resources to go there for them, or we go to the hospitals, and they need to hire, like, I'm not saying anything about them, but Brady needs to have their own officers if they're gonna be a private situation. What can exist, but we're using all of our resources. I'm the only deputy on shift, and then it's just, we're taking care of their 504s or anything like that, exactly.
That's covered under section 8, though.
Yeah, we need to read
Well, I'll give them a compliment. They picked me up last week and they did a good job. I'm very pleased with it. But I've scanned this thing, Mayor, and I don't see anywhere where it says that it has to be an A service. I don't think we approved any contract that doesn't require that level of service. And I may have missed it, and I apologize if I have. That's mandatory. I haven't seen it yet. I've scanned it this week. They do, it is in here where they have to leave one in the county at all times. I mean, we can't be using another county that can come over here from Stewart County to Danville to pick somebody up and both our ambulances are out of the county. That's just not gonna work. You're gonna have to leave one ambulance in the county at all times.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be talking to Charles tomorrow, Thursday. I'm sure he'll be here Monday night, for other questions or.
How long can we just roll it down the hill and not have to agree?
How many they're basically going to money the county anyway, but we agreed to it. That's
That's what I'm talking about.
what we do now. It's just like a lot of verbiage for what we need.
Any other discussion on that, or do you have any discussion? Number 9 is a highway department road petition. And number 10, the highway road list, January 23. You want to speak, Teresa? I just brought both of them saying we're about the same.
The new road that is to be added, I presented it to the Highway Commission last month. Ms. Pam Stanville and Heather came in and requested that Weaver Lane be added, and it's a little over 2/10, it's 0.22 miles. Meets all the requirements and standards for a new road. It's off of Hagee Lane, off of Old 49 Highway. So that's on the agenda for Monday night, and then our new road list that we're required to submit every year.
Where did we relay that, Teresa?
It's off of Hagee Lane. It's not a road yet, but it's Hagee Lane and Old 49 Highway. And Hagee Lane, yeah, it's the road that cuts off.
Billy Weaver used to live before he went to his house.
Yeah, I don't really.
That's a road up to,
What district is that, Teresa? Do you know?
4, I believe.
Haiti Lane, you think?
Has the 2 commissioners from 4 had a chance to look at it, or?
Are you okay with it?
Yes.
That's the main thing.
Mhm.
You recommend it.
It's already a good road. It's not gonna be a big maintenance issue. It'll just probably take a little bit more gravel in the next probably 6 months to a year. But it's, I'd say at a minimum about $600 worth of material will get it back, at that time.
Somebody says leave one out.
You don't go by what you are district.
I do.
They won't push that on you that you don't want.
Got a lot of roads going off the list.
No roads coming off.
Good.
And Weaver Lane won't be added until next year, because it's kind of odd how the timing is, but if you approve it Monday, it'll be added. You'll see it on next year's. But I always send Dell and the post office a copy with the Weaver on there. So,
Okay.
Any other discussion on the roads? Next, you got your budget amendment and transfers for Monday night. And the quarterly reports. And your emergency service reports, fire, sheriff, and 911. Y'all got anything on that, guys, or not?
Last year we did about 390 calls for service in the fire department, and this year I believe we're going down to 347 for whatever reason, but we're a little bit down, which is good. It saves us on fuel. Some major calls, of course, it took a long time. The road was shut down, of course, pretty much for 18 hours on 149 when the acid truck rolled over. Some of the bigger calls. So I wanted to break down the numbers from last year, this year. Anybody have any questions? Any questions, sir?
You got anything, Kevin? Dale? Need a motion to adjourn.
No move.
Second? All in favor?
Any other questions for me off the record?
I mean, you're not gonna be able to pay the 88,000 without paying the 88.